So, if you've seen Jurassic Park, chances are you know who this guy is. This is Dilophosaurus wetherilli. And this scene from the original film from 1993 is pretty terrifying. I mean, being spit venom at by a tiny lizard with a giant frill would be a pretty horrible way to cancel your life subscription. However, despite this, I have a feeling that after you watch this video, you'll know that the real animal was truly far more horrifying. Alright, so I know I just said that the real animal was truly more horrifying, but right now I need to contradict myself and tell you a fact that will actually probably make you think that the real life animal was probably less intimidating than its movie counterpart. And that is, Dilophosaurus couldn't spit venom. Yes, that's right. The thing that pretty much made this dinosaur famous, it could not really do, in real life at least. And in case some of you want to know why it spits venom in the movie, well, here's why they decided to do it. The movies didn't decide it. In case you didn't know, Jurassic Park was actually originally a novel written by sci-fi author Michael Crichton. So Michael Crichton was actually the creator of the venom-spitting Dilophosaurus. So then why did he do it? Well, back in the late 80s when he was writing the novel, it was thought that Dilophosaurus had a relatively weak bite force. So, people started coming up with theories as to what other means Dilophosaurus could use to cancel their prey's life. So, Crichton came up with the crazy theory that Dilophosaurus was able to spit venom. Because of course it was. Of course, in reality, that's not true. In fact, there is absolutely no evidence suggesting that any dinosaur was either poisonous or venomous. And before you ask, yes, there is a difference between poison and venom. Poison is what you get when you ingest or touch something. Venom is when it's injected into your body, like a snake bite. And I forgot to give a poisonous example. Like touching a frog or eating a mushroom. There we go. And now that you know two different things that can kill you very easily, let's head back to another thing that can kill you very easily. This dinosaur. Alright, so first off, let's obviously talk about the obvious thing that makes the real-life version far more terrifying. Here. This is the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus compared next to a human. Pretty minuscule. You could probably choke that thing out if you wanted to. And now here's a real-life one. Jesus Christ! Yep, the real Dilophosaurus was about 8 feet tall and can reach lengths of up to 25 feet when fully grown. That is huge. That's bigger than a black bear. Now, 8 feet tall may not seem all that large when you compare it to the more popular dinosaurs like Stegosaurus, Triceratops, T-Rex, and of course Apatosaurus. However, for the time it lived in the early Jurassic period, this animal was probably one of, if not the largest predator in its ecosystem. And to be honest, it really didn't need to be that big, because the only prey that we have evidence of it actually eating is this dinosaur, the Saharosaurus. Now, don't be fooled by a dinosaur eating smaller prey than you would probably think it does, because look at what this thing uses to dispatch its prey. Those are its teeth. Notice how they're serrated on both the front and the back. Serrations in teeth usually mean that this animal is going to use its teeth to pretty much slice into the animal's skin and probably hope that it bleeds out as it goes for the kill. But wait a minute, didn't you just say that the reason they made the Dilophosaurus spit venom in the movies was because it had a relatively weak jaw? Well, that was the old theory. We now know that it probably had a pretty decent bite. In fact, given the stoutness of its arms, it's likely that its jaw did do most of the work when wiping its prey off the census. In fact, a decent bite force might just actually be an understatement, because studies done show that this dinosaur was fully capable of piercing bone with its bite. This provides some evidence suggesting that they could have possibly been the first macro predators, and that they may have hunted larger prey than Saharosaurus. However, until we find stomach contents, I won't be fully convinced of that. And despite what I said about the arms being pretty stout, at least for Dilophosaurus size standards, they were actually probably incredibly strong and could have helped to pin prey down to the ground as the jaws did the dirty work. Dilophosaurus also had a respiratory system similar to that of most birds, meaning that it was likely a highly active animal. So in conclusion, if this animal is truly dead set on destroying you, it probably won't get tired for a while. Dilophosaurus also had these two massive crests on top of his head, which is actually where the animal gets its name. Dilophosaurus in Latin roughly translates to double-crested lizard. However, these crests were likely not used in battle. There are a couple of theories as to what they were probably used for, though. The first of which is that they were probably used for sexual display, as in the males probably had bigger crests to attract the females. These crests could have also been used to make the animal look bigger than it actually is. When animals have some sort of stuff basically sticking out of their body, it can trick either predators or prey into thinking that it's much bigger than it actually is, to warn it to stay away. This is actually what cats do when they're puffing up their fur and arch their back. It's a technique to make them look bigger to scare away pretty much any threats. And these crests were most likely covered in keratin, meaning they could have gotten much larger than the skull actually tells us. And with that, that's where this video is going to end. I hope you enjoyed my little video essay on Dilophosaurus, and I hope to make more about even more of my favorite dinosaurs and some lesser known ones in the future. Until then, I'll see you next time.